A Moving Story is presented by Singapore Logistics Association and Jurong Port, and supported by the following.
Singapore is the world's #2 logistics hub, according to a 2010 World Bank report. From the largest transshipment hub to Asia's top 5 cargo airport, Singapore offers excellent global connectivity. Besides that, the city-state also provides secure storage of art and other valuables and is a player in cold chain logistics. In this 4-part series, we pay tribute to those who work behind the scenes and around the clock to ensure on-time delivery of goods and services around the world. It's a race against time to install the structural framework of a pedestrian bridge within 48 hours.
In project logistics, we are often facing pressure in terms of timing.
Moving 29,000 tons of steel sheet piles for a construction project on time depends on the mood of Mother Nature.
If it's going to rain, operations will be still to a halt, and we won't have any movements.
Delivering lift shafts within a confined space at a residential estate requires much skill and experience.
To ensure that everything goes smoothly, there's no hiccup.
When it comes to shipping mega-sized oil and gas equipment from Singapore to Africa, it all boils down to teamwork.
The difficulties that we face is coordination and planning. Safety is always a priority.
4 projects, 4 logistics professionals who share one common goal to ensure the delivery of infrastructural projects in Singapore. Senior Project Manager Vincent Teo relishes new challenges at work. He has been tasked to install 7 trusses which make up the structural framework of a pedestrian bridge. It would have been a straightforward assignment, except this pedestrian bridge, which will link users to a new MRT station, is under a viaduct. Hence, the conventional way of using heavy lift crawler cranes to hoist the trusses up do not work. Fortunately, with more than 30 years of experience in project logistics management, Bok Seng has the necessary expertise and equipment to take on this project. The logistics industry in Singapore has evolved over the years. By using technologies and coming up with innovative solutions, logistic firms have added value to the supply chain. In Bok Seng's case, planning is key when it comes to transporting and installing heavy structures. Various engineering studies have to be done in advance. Given the magnitude and scale of the project, it is broken down into various phases. Tonight, Bok Seng is delivering one of the 7 trusses from the fabrication yard to the installation location. No detail is too small to be taken for granted. Even the route taken by the trailer to transport the truss has been test-driven 10 times prior to the actual move itself.
From the road survey, we are able to identify any possible obstacles, things like overhanging trees, traffic lights, lamp posts, and there's overhead bridges. Where there's any tight corners, we have to take measurements of all these corners, and the engineers will actually plot out the path so that we ensure that the trailer can clear all these tight corners without any problem.
The truss can only be transported after 7 p.m. under the escort of the auxiliary police. This is to ensure safety to all road users and to minimize any inconvenience. The trailer is portioned into two parts for easier maneuvering.
As you can see that the cargo is very long. If we use a complete solid trailer, while moving on road, it makes it very difficult to negotiate any turns that you will come across. So with this system, turntable with two trailers, and we can negotiate a smaller turn using at a smaller turning radius. The front part of the trailer is being connected to the prime mover, so it will be controlled. The steering will be controlled by the prime mover, but we will have an operator that's at the rear trailer that's controlling, doing the steering to match the trailers that's moving in front.
Balance
34-year-old Kevin Sandu is equally at ease negotiating deals with multinational clients as well as giving instructions to his team of workers. He not only enjoys the people-oriented nature of his job, he also appreciates the strategic importance logistics play in enabling businesses around the world. For these 2 months, Kevin needs to transport 29,000 tons of steel sheet piles equivalent to the size of 20 football fields to 3 locations.
My job in this project is from the bidding stage to the planning and to the execution, right up to the execution, where I inform them how to do the planning on the discharging procedures, the transportation, all the way up to the relocation at the site.
Steel sheet piles are driven into the ground at construction sites as part of the foundation work. In this case, they are used for the construction of what will be Singapore's biggest ship repair yard. Construction is a key pillar in Singapore's economy, and the value of contracts awarded to the sector is likely to total between 22 billion and 28 billion Sing dollars this year. By playing a supporting role, logistics firms like Yang Key stand to benefit from servicing construction projects. The sheet piles vary in length from 8 meters to 31 meters. One challenge Kevin faces is to match the right type of trailers to the right type of cargo.
We will receive information from the stevedoring crew on board the vessel, informing us the sizes that will be coming down first. So once it's discharged to the wharf side, it will be loaded direct to the truck and put at a hard standing area. At the hard standing area, a tally will be done to make sure the number of pieces are correct, after which it's loaded onto the truck and delivered straight to the site.
The route from the port to the construction site also needs to be mapped out in advance. This transport manager can basically plan everything except for the weather.
It plays a big part in this kind of operations because if it's going to rain, operations will be still to a halt and we won't have any movements. And once they start moving again, it will be at night. And then at the site, we can't do discharging at night because there's no lights, just an open land. We only can work on the day.
Despite his relative youth, Kevin is an old hand in the logistics sector. He has risen through the ranks with 16 years of experience. Every single project he undertakes calls for a fresh approach to problem solving.
No 2 jobs are the same. Every job, you'll face a different problem, and you have to be there. You must know how, to solve that problem on the spot. You can't have too much time to think about it and all that. You must have a plan B. And plan B doesn't work, a plan C must come in place.
For over 45 years, Jurong Port has been making good moves in general cargo, bulk cargo, and containerized cargo. We are recognized as Asia Pacific's multi-purpose port of the year. Thinking of good moves? Jurong Port.
This week on Clickability, we find out how you can get your company featured on internet search results. prominently.
We look for all the keywords that we can think about. Number one is your bid price, click-through rate, relevancy.
So it's not just about how much money you've got.
Nice.
Yeah, then if it's about how much money you've got, then the richest guy wins, right?
Yeah.
True.
Clickability, Wednesday at these times exclusively on Channel News Asia.
China under pressure as inflation has shown no signs of letting up. Food prices went up by a whopping 10%. What are authorities doing to calm public unhappiness? More on East Asia tonight. The Singapore government continues to invest in infrastructure works, such as public sector works and major road works. As such, logistics companies will always have a role to play. Day 2 starts by preparing the truss to be transferred onto a SPMT, also known as Self-Propelled Modular Transporter. The choice of machinery plays an important part in the smooth installation of the truss onto the receiving columns of the bridge.
The SPMT is able to perform better because of it has higher steering capability, hence allowing us to do very finer, very minimum movement, small steps.
Precision is the name of the game. Wooden planks that stack up to the correct thickness are placed on the SPMT. This is done so that the truss will be at the exact level required for the installation.
Tonight, the installation will be done underneath a viaduct. So we will have limited room, headroom that's available for us to work with. And you can see that there's actually only a small a gap in between the viaduct and the receiving column. So after we sit it down, we have to ensure that the trailers is able to lower down itself all the way and be able to have that clearance so that we can move the trailers out without any rework or any double handling, we call it. So that's why we have to be very precise in terms of the height. Too much of it will prevent us from moving in, and too little of it will hinder us from coming out. So we must make sure that it's just nice.
From bidding to planning and now execution, this is a 3-year-long project that is nearing completion. Jason Goh from Danish multinational freight forwarding firm Blue Water Shipping is overseeing the move of these seemingly unmovable objects called suction piles. Suction piles are placed deep into the seabed to anchor a floating production, storage and offloading unit for the oil and gas industry. In this project, the suction piles will go 900 meters below the water surface and be partially buried into the seabed. The size of one suction pile exceeds the 4.5-meter height limit for road transportation. Sea travel is the only way. Moving one suction pile a mere 100 meters from the fabrication yard to the wharf is a Herculean task in itself. Moving 9 of them, however, makes the task 9 times more challenging.
The constraint here that we face is the space, and all the suction